Hey, how's it going, peeps? It is now time for the Battlegrounds results / highlights and review video. I'll go over the results, some of the highlights in my opinion, and give you guys my thoughts on the show. So, of course, it kicks off with the kickoff, Battleground kickoff. And the panel this time was The Miz, Titus O'Neil, Josh Matthews, and Tensai. Talking about the matches, talking about which matches they're looking forward to the most. Anyways, you get a short Paul Heyman and Ryback promo backstage talking about their matchup. And then comes the kickoff matchup, Damien Sandow versus Dolph Ziggler. Before the matchup begun, Damien Sandow cut a short little promo saying that he might cash in his briefcase tonight at Battleground. So tonight, or this kickoff match might not be the only time you see Damien Sandow at Battleground. And then comes time for the matchup, pretty back and forth match. In the end though, Damien Sandow tweaked his knee and Dolph Ziggler took advantage of that by kicking him in the back of the knee, followed that up with the zigzag, pins Damien Sandow, and won the matchup. After that, they hyped up, a bunch of matches, and also they had a pool where the WWE Universe could vote on the best power couple in the WWE, and the top winning choice was Edge and Lita, and second top choice. And also on the kickoff, they announced that the first match that's going to kick off Battleground would be the Hardcore Rules match between Alberto Del Rio and Rob Van Dam, and that was indeed the first matchup. So Rob Van Dam comes out first with Ricardo and then Del Rio, and they ended up having a pretty good hardcore match. They used a chair, a ladder, I think that's about it, but the match was pretty good. You had a spot where Rob Van Dam Irish whipped Del Rio in the corner, and there was a ladder there, so he put a ladder in the corner, Irish whipped Del Rio on it, and then he charges Del Rio, but Del Rio gets out of the way, but Rob Van Dam jumps and hangs onto the ladder, and then Del Rio runs towards him and hits the enziguri while Rob Van Dam is on top of the ladder. Not on top, but hanging onto the ladder to the back. So he hits an enziguri to the back of the head of RVD. At some point, you also had Rob Van Dam actually hit the 5-star frog splash, but he hit it on the outside of the ring. He had a ladder on top of Del Rio was down, and he hit the frog splash from the apron onto the outside, onto Del Rio and the ladder. And Ricardo also got involved when, early on, Del Rio actually got the cross arm breaker locked on Rob Van Dam, and Ricardo tried to save Rob Van Dam, so he got, took something from under the ring. It ended up being the bucket, so he goes in the ring, he hits Del Rio with the bucket, and then Del Rio confronts him. And when he confronts him, he tells Ricardo to give him, the bucket. Ricardo is hesitating, doesn't want to give the bucket to Del Rio, but in the end, he's like, okay, here you go. And then when Del Rio goes to grab it, Ricardo kicks him in the gut and then hits him a couple times with the bucket. And Del Rio gets out of the ring, Ricardo follows, but Del Rio grabs Ricardo and shoves him onto the barricade and then hits a kick right on the head. And then, the match continues. Towards the end, though, Del Rio sets up a chair. He sets it up the way you would set it up if you want to sit on it, and he drop toe holds Rob Van Dam onto the chair, and then Rob Van Dam's head is hanging, on top of the chair. So Del Rio hits a super kick on Rob Van Dam, and then the chair got, or Rob Van Dam's arm got in between the chair, so Del Rio took advantage of that. He started stomping on the chair a couple times, 5 times or so, and then he locked on the cross arm breaker while Van Dam's arm is still in between the chair. Rob Van Dam taps out, and Del Rio wins, and he looks exhausted after the matchup. But on commentary, they're talking about, how Damien Sandow isn't out here. This is a perfect opportunity with Del Rio exhausted and, from the matchup. But, due to maybe Damien Sandow tweaking his knee early on, that's maybe why he's not cashing it in. Anyways, afterwards, you see the Real Americans backstage. They cut a promo on some on Canadians crossing the border or sneaking the border. Anyways, following that, they have a matchup right away. It's the Great Khali and Santino Marella versus the Real Americans. And you know what? I really like this match because Antonio Cesaro actually did the big swing on the Great Khali. So that was pretty impressive and pretty funny, pretty entertaining. It was a cool moment. Probably the best swing yet. Although he didn't swing it as long as he did when he did it to Santino. It was still cool. And especially because, you know, Khali is like 7 foot, he's 7 foot tall, what, like 400 pounds or 300 something? Anyways, yeah, he actually won the matchup with the big swing. He swung Khali for a couple seconds, and then he rolled him up and got the victory for his team. Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger win the matchup, and afterwards they put their hands to their hearts and say, "We the people." Man, you know, crowd popped for that big swing. Following that, it was the Intercontinental Championship matchup, Curtis Axel versus R-Truth. You know, back and forth matchup between the two. R-Truth actually hit the scissors kick, but Curtis Axel kicked out. In the end, though, Curtis Axel hits his finisher. I'm still not sure what the finisher's called. It's that, you know, neck breaker into like face buster finisher. Hits that, pins R-Truth, and wins the matchup. Following that was the Divas Championship matchup, AJ Lee versus Brie Bella. AJ came out with Tamina, and Tamina got involved like twice in the matchup. In the very beginning, AJ Lee got out of the ring. Brie Bella was trying to go after AJ, but Tamina was blocking her. And then once AJ got back in the ring, Brie Bella chases her, goes back in the ring as well, but of course, AJ has the advantage since she's already in the ring. But then towards the end of the matchup, when Brie Bella was, you know, on her way to victory, Tamina then she puts Nikki Bella in a sleeper hold on the outside, and she's like trying to choke her out, and that distracts Brie Bella, who tries to get outside the ring to help out Nikki, but just before she got outside, AJ Lee rolls her up, gets the victory, and retains her Divas Championship. Following that, the Rhodes family was backstage, Renee Young interviewing them, talking about their matchup, and then right after was the actual matchup, which was awesome, by the way. Great matchup. Both Cody and Goldust did great, as well as the Shield. Goldust even got on the top rope, the top turnbuckle, and hit somewhat of a moonsault / crossbody. You know, when he had his back facing, you know, the opponents. I think it might have been Roman Reigns. And then he freaking jumped from there and turned it into a crossbody. And in the end, Cody gets tagged in. And also, at some point, Dusty Rhodes got involved when Dean Ambrose confronted him. Dusty Rhodes took off his belt and he hit Dean Ambrose with it. And I think he also hit the bionic elbow. And then Dean Ambrose started backing away. And Seth Rollins, I believe, or no, actually Roman Reigns tried to attack Dusty Rhodes from behind. But Goldust stopped him by, you know, charging him. And then Cody kind of got distracted with all of that on the outside, so Seth Rollins tried to, you know, run after him and hit him from behind, but Cody Rhodes got out of the way. Then Seth Rollins charges him once again, but Cody gets out of the way once again and hits the Cross Rhodes, pins him, and wins the matchup for his team. Afterwards, they celebrate, and even a bunch of superstars from the roster come meet them up on the stage, and they all hug, and, you know, they raise Dusty Rhodes' hand, and that was it. And then it was time for the Ryback CM Punk match. They showed a video package, you know, beforehand, and the matchup was pretty slow. It was a pretty slow match, not fast-paced at all, apart maybe from the ending just a little bit. Ryback dominated most of the matchup, you know, beating up CM Punk, but in the end, CM Punk started picking up some momentum. He hit the elbow drop, and he went for the GTS, but Ryback got out of it. And then in the end, CM Punk was like on the ropes, in between the second ropes and the first rope. He was just hanging there like with his arms, and Ryback kept beating up CM Punk while he was on the ropes, and the referee would count till 4 and then push Ryback back, or Ryback would just go away, and then he'd do it again, and the referee pushes Ryback back again. He'd do it again, and then once he did it again the third time, then, you know, referee was talking to Ryback, telling him to stop this and that, and Paul Heyman grabbed the kendo stick from under the ring. But the referee turned just in time to see Paul Heyman with that kendo stick, so he tells Paul Heyman to, you know, what's he trying to do, and to put that down or whatever. He's distracted with Paul Heyman. CM Punk takes advantage of that, and low blows. I believe Ryback grabbed CM Punk or something like that, but CM Punk managed to low blow Ryback by kicking him in the nuts. Referee didn't see because he was distracted with Paul Heyman. He then covered Ryback, and referee counted 3, so CM Punk wins the matchup. And I believe right after, maybe CM Punk got out of the ring or something. No, actually, no. CM Punk didn't get out of the ring right after. Anyways, that was it for the CM Punk Ryback match. So far, that was like the only matchup I got wrong. And then it was main event time. Daniel Bryan versus Randy as well. They showed a video package before the matchup. And this was a great match. The matchup they had also on Night of Champions was a good match. And the only thing I didn't like, though, is the ending. It's kind of like the Del Rio RVD match where I didn't like the ending. Although this was not a disqualification. I'm not even sure what it was. I guess it was actually, I think it was a no contest. Pretty much, Daniel Bryan got the S-lock locked in. It kind of locked in. It was almost locked in. Anyways, he had that on Randy, and that's when the Big Show's music hits. And you see Brad Maddox, I believe, coming. Oh no, actually, Big Show just runs down the ring. He grabs the referee, drags him out of the ring, and knocks him out. And the referee was the same referee in the, I believe, the Randy versus Daniel Bryan match at Night of Champions. Not Scott Armstrong, but the other one that was the actual referee of the matchup before getting replaced. Or, no, actually, the replacement for Scott Armstrong at Night of Champions. That was the referee. So, yeah, Big Show drags him out of the ring, knocks him out. And then Daniel Bryan just looks at the Big Show, all confused. And then Big Show knocks Daniel Bryan out. And then, he's like, it looks like he's regretting it. And, he's doing this, like he's forced to do this. And then Brad Maddox comes out on the stage. And he brings out Scott Armstrong. And Scott Armstrong goes down the stage, goes down the ramp, to freaking count the pinfall for Randy. Randy went on Daniel Bryan for the cover. And he's just waiting for the referee. So referee walks down the ramp, and I believe he started to count, and that's when Big Show pulled him also out of the ring and knocked him out as well. So then you've got two referees, they're both knocked out, and then Randy's all mad at the Big Show, and Big Show gets in the ring, confronts Randy. Randy starts yelling at him, and then Big Show... Randy also pushes the Big Show, and that's when Big Show knocks Randy Orton out as well. So pretty much, Big Show knocked out both referees and both competitors in the matchup. They're both down. All of them are down except the Big Show. Brad Maddox is on the stage, like, all shocked. Like, what did you just do? And that was pretty much it. Afterwards, Big Show celebrated, and he actually climbed up the top turnbuckle and said no more, and his music was playing, and that was it for the show. Big Show standing tall, and Randy and Daniel Bryan knocked out, as well as the referees. So pretty much we still have no WWE champion. It is still vacant. The match was good, but I didn't really enjoy the ending. Although I will say I kind of expected, but I wasn't really going into the pay-per-view. I wasn't gonna be that surprised if it was gonna end in a draw or something. I just didn't see it the way, I don't know, but when it actually happened, I was, disappointed. So, anyways, what did I think about the show highlights? Well, as far as highlights go, for sure, you've got to include Antonio Cesaro hitting the big swing on the Great Khali. That was impressive. That was funny, entertaining. It was cool. But also, the tag team matchup, Cody Rhodes and Goldust versus The Shield, that matchup in its entirety was a highlight. It was a cool matchup, and if I have to pick, I'd probably give that the match of the night. And as far as a rating for the show, I'd maybe give it like a 5.5 to 6 on 10, around that range. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Tell me what you thought about Battleground in the comment section below. What was your favorite match of the night? And with that said, I'm out, guys. See ya.